Ah, yes, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. You way in the back. I hear you. Thank you so much. Hey there. My name is Hayden Jones, and since the dawn of humanity and the dawn of sneakers, which were invented in... humans have wondered, can I play basketball in this shoe? Or does it basketball? So today we're going to be taking 3 non-basketball sneakers and seeing, does it basketball? Can I play basketball in this sneaker? And which one is the best? Anyways, enjoy the show with some popcorn or yogurt. Does anybody watch shows with yogurt? Is that just me?
He's playing in shoes that might kill him. He's doing it all for the content. It's Does It Basketball with Hayden Jones.
Hey there, as I said in the intro, my name is Hayden Jones, and welcome to the first ever episode of Does It Basketball. Today we're going to be taking 3 basketball shoes and ranking them in a variety of categories to determine which non-basketball shoe performs the best as a basketball shoe. We've got 3 very interesting pairs today, 3 that you may or may not have heard of, but there's a couple of very infamous pairs, and a couple that you should never, ever play basketball in, one in particular. So there should be a graphic right about here that's going to show you how the ranking system works. If you watched my first ever review of the Dawn issue 5, you'll be able to tell that the ranking system on this is a little bit different, and that's because today I'm focusing solely on performance, and then I do have an aesthetics category because I can't help myself. I have to include the aesthetics of the shoe. It matters so much to me. So even if it doesn't matter towards performance, it still matters to me. So there are a couple of categories that are still not extremely important to basketball, but overall these categories have been adjusted a little bit to put most of the weight of the score on performance-based qualities. So to start things off, we're gonna go with the AdiFOM Q. It's spelled F-O-M. I guess it's foam, but it's made out of foam, so nobody really knows, I don't think. Maybe there's a proper one, I don't know. Anyways, people said that these were copying the foam runners. They're supposed to be based around the Adidas Quakes, I believe is what it is. They're a lifestyle Adidas shoe, just made for walking around everyday use. They're actually a pretty cool shoe. I've worn them quite a few times for lifestyle purposes, and this was my first time playing basketball in them. So what did I think? Well, we're gonna start it off with the aesthetics. I think that aesthetically, these are an 8 out of 10. They're a very good-looking, cool, futuristic shoe, but of course, aesthetics don't matter for basketball usage. So let's get into some of the basketball things here. The first category is support, and out of 20, I'm giving this thing a 6. It's actually not the worst supportive shoe ever, but there is just nothing to continue, like to keep your ankle from rolling in these. I have some footage that shows that your ankle, if you just turn it, it's gonna roll. I mean, if you try to play basketball in this and you took the wrong step, it is going to roll. There's nothing to contain the ankles from rolling on these things. So the support's not great. The only reason I even gave it a 6 is because there is enough to at least sort of stop it from going on its side. So it's not the worst thing in the world, but obviously it's not made for basketball, so it's not supposed to be the best. The next category we're gonna be going through is traction. Now, on the bottom of this, there's a very interesting traction pattern. It kind of looks like the Salehi Bembry Crocs in a way, with this like fingerprint looking pattern on the bottom. It was okay. Actually, the traction was decent. It's not the greatest thing for a basketball shoe, and also I've worn these outside before, so it might be a little bit worn down. But the traction was okay, but it was definitely not great. I mean, like, if this was a basketball shoe, I would be extremely disappointed. But for a lifestyle shoe, it's not bad. So I'm giving it a 10 out of 20 because it's not bad, but it's not great. And we're reviewing this for basketball purposes. So for basketball purposes, I can't give it more than a 10. The next category we're going through is cushion. Now, this is where I thought that this shoe would really shine, because the cushion, I mean, it's all foam. The whole thing is made out of foam, except for there is a rubber inserts for the outsole. But overall, it's a foam shoe with a nice, sock liner, kind of cushiony insole here. But unfortunately, I have to give the cushion a 12 out of 20. I expected this thing to be like a 15 to an 18 out of 20 because it's all foam, but this foam is not that forgiving. It's not bad, so it could be a lot worse. Like, there's definitely good impact protection in this. It's almost kind of like the density. It's almost a little more dense, actually, than bounce foam. I'm trying to find a Dawn issue 1 here. Bounce foam is, it's a little more forgiving than even the foam in this. Not by much. They're very similar. So it's kind of like a slightly more dense bounce foam with a not that great insole. I mean, the insole is essentially just more foam, and it's like this whole sock liner thing, but the cushioning on it is just not great. So it could have been a lot better. 12 out of 10 is not a bad score, but it's not a great one either. Next up is the materials. For the materials, I give it a 4 out of 10. There's nothing special on this. It's just a generic Adidas foam. It's called Adi Plus on the back. There's a lot of like random Adidas foams. You got Adi Preen, you got Bounce, you got Light Strike, you got Boost, you got whatever else is out there. I don't really know what's special about this one, if there is anything special about it, but it's definitely not the most forgiving, and it doesn't feel like it's high quality, like plush foam, so gonna give it a 4 for this. Next up is the fit. Now the fit for this is actually fine for lifestyle use. However, for basketball use, I'm giving it a 2 out of 5. Reason being is this inner sock liner. I mean, it works great, again, for lifestyle use, but when you're stopping, oh dear God, if you could feel the way that my foot was stopping in these shoes, when I stopped, this sock liner slides around just a tiny bit, but it's enough that when you're going for a hard stop, your foot will continue forward and the sock liner will slide into the front of this hard foam, and my feet were just dying. Every time I went for a hard stop, my big toe would just slam into this not very forgiving foam, and it did not feel good. So the fit's fine, but it doesn't work for basketball at all. In fact, breaking news, we're switching the 2 to a 1. Now that I'm talking about it, the fit just can't be a 2. It's got to be a 1. It's not good enough. It's just not made for basketball. Next up is the weight. The weight I'm going to give a 2. Now this one I'm not going to change to a 1. It's heavy, but it's almost like wearing like a pair of LeBrons. It's probably even maybe heavier than that, but it's just not that horrible, especially because it is distributed well, kind of like I talked about with the Dawn Issue 5s. These, of course, are a lot lighter than these, but they are like very well distributed with the weight, so you're not noticing it on the bottom of your foot as much. These are a little bottom heavy, but the distribution isn't bad, so it's not as noticeable, so I feel like a 2 out of 5 is fair. Next up is the durability. I think the durability is pretty solid on these, especially because it has this rubber outsole portion. I gave the durability a 3 out of 5. I think it'll actually last a while for a foam shoe, and it really impressed me with the durability. I've been wearing these outside, and I really see no wear and tear on the outsole. I'll get some up-close shots for you on that. And then last but not least, we have the price. The retail price on these is $120. I got my pair for a lot cheaper than that. It was like 80 or 90 bucks. But based on the retail price, I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5. You're definitely getting a good quality shoe. Not for basketball purposes, but just in general, I do think it's a 3 out of 5. But you know what? No, breaking news. I'm changing it again. It's going down to a 2. Because this is for basketball. This isn't for lifestyle use. If you're paying $120 for a basketball shoe that performs this mediocre, this poor, it's not worth it. It's a 2. It's a 2 out of 5. 2 out of 5 final score. So that's gonna do it for the AdiFOM Q. The final score is gonna be calculated right here somewhere because I'm too lazy to do the math now. And moving on, we are gonna go to the Rose in Good Faith plastic soles. Now, if you haven't heard of these, that's okay. A lot of people haven't. I talked about them in my last video about the 10 most underrated sneakers of 2023. And this is actually their first sneaker clog slide shoe. Does it perform in basketball? We're gonna find out. Oh, I forgot to mention, the shoe is made out of dildos. It is made out of unused adult toys.
Oh, dear God, no!
That were rejected and gonna be recycled. So, bonus points right away for that. Anyways, coming in with the aesthetics, I'm giving these an 8 out of 10. Just like the AdiFOM Qs, I think they're a really solid looking shoe. It's an all foam shoe. It's got this awesome pink color. It's the Cherry Blossom colorway, which is my favorite that has released. They have like a Volt colorway coming out soon that looks really cool, but the aesthetics are great on this shoe. Just a really cool looking shoe, and that's why I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. Now let's get into some of the basketball stuff. Coming in with the support, it's horrible. It's a 2 out of 20. The support is not there. You're gonna see, and it's actually partially due to something else, which I'm gonna talk about later, but you're gonna see, I'm gonna show some clips, not staged, these things flipped like sideways while I was wearing them. The the support is not there. It's non-existent. It's terrible. Don't ever trust the support on these things. They will kill you, so it's a 2 out of 20. However, in the next category, traction, we're gonna make up some points here because the traction is an 18 out of 20. The reason being is foam performs really well for some reason on hardwood courts, and this foam is just sticking. And that's actually what I was going to mention about the support, is I think the support is so bad because this stops so hard and you can't tighten it down to your foot. So when you stop, it grabs the floor so hard that your whole foot is just like sideways. So the support is really affected by how amazing the traction is. So 18 out of 20 for the traction for sure. Next up is the cushion. I'm giving it a 15 out of 20. This cushion is what I was hoping that the AdiFOM cushion would be. It's a very forgiving cushion, probably because, you know, people use this to, you know. Anyways, the cushion on this is great. It's super soft. Again, probably because people stop. Focus. I have to go to class in like 30 minutes, so I'm really squeezing this review in, and I'm not helping myself out right now. But anyways, it is a very good foam. We'll say that. It's a great foam, therefore it's getting a 15 out of 20. Next up, we have the materials. 10 out of 10. Probably because, you know, this material is what people use to... Stop. I gotta stop. Okay, but it's a 10 out of 10. I mean, it's so cool, dude. They're recycled and it feels great. Anyways, the material is a 10 out of 10. Next up, we have the fit. I'm giving the fit on these a 4 out of 5. It actually fits really well. This is a size 11 and I usually wear a 10.5, but I did the research that said that, you know, you can go up a half size in these and it usually works pretty well. And they fit really well. I mean, also with the little nubs, kind of like the Crocs have, it really like helps grab your sock and keep your foot in place. So the fit on these is really strong, and that's why I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. Next up, we have weight. Another one where this shoe is crushing it. The weight is a 5 out of 5. Reason being is it's just so lightweight, it feels like you're flying in these. Like I felt like I was flying. Like when I went up to run around in these, it was awesome. I absolutely loved it. So the weight is great. And then next we have the durability. The durability is gonna be a 2 out of 5 on these. I don't think that these are gonna be very durable for long, only because this traction pattern has tiny little nubs. And even for lifestyle where the durability is not great, if you were to wear these inside for long enough, it's not gonna be amazing. And if you were to wear these outside like twice, they would be cooked. So the durability is a 2 out of 5. I think it could be worse, which is why I'm giving it above a 1, but it's definitely not great. For the price on these, I'm giving it a 3 out of 5. I know it's a basketball shoe review, even though these aren't basketball shoes, but even as a price for a basketball shoe, it's a damn, you know what? Breaking news, no, changing it again. It's a 2 out of 5. They're $85, okay? That's pretty good because they're always on sale. The retail price is $135. You'll never find them for that much. They're usually even cheaper. If the support was better, these would be like a 5 out of 5 price because they are actually like legitimately a solid basketball shoe. The support's just not there, and I can't realistically give this a high score on price when it's like not a shoe that you would ever want to spend $85 on that just performs with no support and you would snap your ankle in if you wore it for a real basketball session. But anyways, it's a 2 out of 5 on price. It's just not quite good enough. And last but not least, this shoe. I played basketball in this shoe. The Wavy Baby, the Mischief Wavy Babies. This was one of the worst decisions of my entire life. Okay, maybe I'm giving away too much. Hold on. Let's give it the benefit of the doubt for a second, all right? Let's just get into the review. First of all, aesthetics, 10 out of 10. Some people are like, this is a clown shoe. It looks stupid. This is a 10 out of 10 shoe aesthetically. I think it's sick. Look at this. It's a pair of Vans that somebody put into Photoshop basically and then brought into real life. It's a sick shoe. It's got to be a 10 out of 10. Despite some of the things we're going to talk about in just a second here. Like the support. The support, 2 out of 20. The support's actually not horrible. It sort of supports you. It would be higher, except you can't give this shoe higher than a 2 for support because the support is not good enough for it to justify playing in these, because if you make one mistake, let's say you stop hard on a lateral stop, you're dead. That's your leg, dead, gone. You just turned into Gordon Hayward in 2 seconds. Is that out of pocket? That's a little out of pocket. Sorry, Gordon Hayward. Bro just is never healthy. I feel terrible for him. But anyways, this shoe is just not a basketball shoe for support, but maybe it makes up for itself in other areas. Let's just keep going. Traction, 6 out of 20. The traction sucks. I mean, actually, the reason it got a 6 though is it did stop. It stopped. I thought that it wouldn't stop considering only 3 parts of it touched the ground in very small areas, but it had an okay amount of traction. But it just wasn't, not enough to justify it being anything above a 6. A 6 is actually a pretty generous score because it stopped. It stopped better. Maybe it was because my expectations were so low. It at least stopped. Next up, we have the cushion. The cushion on these things is a 2. These things are bricks. There's like no cushion. The reason it's even getting a 2 is this insole that's in here is actually sort of squishy. There's at least a little bit of squish to it. Other than that, you are just smacking down on the pavement. Like this feels like some concrete on your feet. So there's no cushion and it's getting a 2. Next up, we have the materials. The materials are pretty good on this. I actually really like this, I guess, what is it? It's not a suede, is it? The rest of it's more of a canvas, but it's really just in the toe box here that there's like a suede feeling material. Maybe it is. And then you got these cuts of leather that go across the side. For basketball, these materials aren't terrible, which is why I'm giving them a 7 out of 10. Material-wise, they're good quality materials. Maybe not the best for basketball. The breathability sucks. They're decent, they're high quality, and there could be worse. I've seen worse. Next up is the fit. The fit is a 3. Unfortunately, the fit was not amazing, but it wasn't terrible. I got a size 10. Unlike the Rose and Good Faiths, these run huge. These are giant. The size 10 is still a little big on me, and I'm a 10.5. So I'm glad I didn't get an 11. I actually was messaging a dude on eBay to buy these a while back. He was selling an 11, and I asked him how the sizing was, and he was like, honestly, dude, I'm not trying to finesse you. Don't buy my shoes. Like, what a saint. Because he actually told me not to buy his shoes because he was like, these things run huge. Get a 10. And I did. I took his advice, and he was so right. They're still a little big. So they only run in full sizes. But the fit's not amazing. But when you get the right size, like I have a 10, it actually conforms to your foot decently. So it's getting a 3 out of 5. Next up is the weight 1. I should give it a 0, honestly. The weight, this just in, I'm changing my score. 0. The weight is 0. 0 points, nothing. This is a brick. Again, the weight feels like 1,000 pounds on your feet. It feels like you're playing in ankle weights. It's terrible. 0 points. Next up is durability. I'm giving it a 2. I mean, they're pretty durable, but they're actually surprisingly like coming loose from the glue. I think that's because these are mostly an art piece. They're not made to be played basketball in, but still I was disappointed that they were just already coming loose from the glue. So the durability is not great. And then last but not least, we got the price. I'm giving it a 2. These are $220 for retail. What am I talking about? The price is a 0. What, like some of these, I'm sorry I'm changing this so much. This is 0. The price is 0. Again, I keep thinking of it as like the price for it as a shoe and not a basketball shoe. Who would spend $220 on this as a basketball shoe? No one. It's a 0. The clear loser with this as the final score. Again, I didn't calculate it here. This is the clear loser, but uh-oh. Hold on, guys. We have a bonus category. Bonus category incoming. Get all the shoes on the table. All the shoes back on the table. Bonus category. How do they perform with jumping? Okay, I'm a dunker first. I'm not a great dunker anymore. I've lost a lot of my bounce, but I am a dunker at heart. Which one could I realistically jump the highest in? Which one can I dunk in? This is going to be worth, I know there's a final score of 100, 20 bonus points to the winner. And that's gonna just absolutely boost one of these above and beyond. Now, which one is it? Which one performs the best for jumping? I'm gonna eliminate them one by one. Here we go. First up. Ooh, you thought I was gonna get rid of the Wavy babies. What's it gonna be? The Rose and Good Faiths are the Wavy babies. It is. Yeah, I can't even fake it. These are actually the best shoe for jumping in. I don't think it's the safest, okay? I'm not trying to gas these up beyond their means. I almost gave it to the AdiFOM cues because these are a lot more safer to jump in, but the support and landing is just as bad with both of them. And if I'm gonna take one of the two, I'm taking the lighter pair that has more cushion in it for my landings and is a lot easier to get off the floor with. So these are actually gonna win. And you know what? This just in, I'm changing it. It's only gonna be 10 bonus points. Clearly, I didn't think through the scoring of this video quite enough when I was recording it here. But from here on out in these videos, it's going to be worth 10 bonus points. 20 is a little too much. It's 10 bonus points to the Rose in Good Faith Plastic Soles, just because that is one of my most important traits in a shoe, is can I comfortably dunk in it? Can I jump high in it? Do I feel like I can jump high in it? And I felt like I could jump pretty high in these. I didn't get a dunk in any of these because quite honestly, I was afraid to even try. They are not made for that, so I didn't want to do it too much. But yeah, I think that these are probably the best overall in every category, and they win. The Rose in Good Faith Plastic Soles won. I really thought it was going to be the AdiFOM cues because they're the most basketball shoe-ish. They have laces. They have decent traction. They were made out of foam. I really thought they would perform the best. And despite these not having laces, despite these basically being a croc, they somehow were better than the AdiFOM cues because these ones just, my toes stabbed the middle. These ones, they don't need any explaining. Not comfortable. It was not comfortable at all. It still hurt, and those shoes are just not made for basketball. I don't even know why I even tried. So, what did we learn from today? We learned that these are mediocre shoes, but they're better than the other two. Now, something I'm going to be doing with this series is I'm going to be taking the winner from every episode, because there will be future episodes, because let me tell you, this game show is going to be a success. It's going to garner 10s, if not 20s of views. I know you guys are going to love it, so it's going to be continued. So I'm going to take the winner from every episode out of the 3, and I'm going to put them aside. And then after about 4 episodes, we're going to have a winners episode for the winners of each episode. And we're going to determine which shoe is the ultimate non-basketball basketball shoe. And then maybe we'll do a season 2 in the future. But I think season 1 is going to be about 4 episodes. So if you enjoyed this episode, subscribe to the YouTube channel, leave a like, and we'll be back here with another Does It Basketball pretty soon. I don't know what the energy is going on today. I'm kind of frantic because I'm going to be late for school. But yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment. Give me your suggestions on how you'd like me to improve this series. If something didn't make sense to you about the way that I graded these shoes, let me have it. Let me hear it. I'd love to get your feedback. And without further ado, I'm going to move on to the outro. And this week in my sneaker pickups, so make sure to stay tuned for that in the outro, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace. I'm going to throw this at the camera like I usually do. I didn't even hit the camera, but I did cause it to fall. So for this week in sneaker pickups, I went to Plato's Closet and Buffalo Exchange. This week I found a ton of stuff. I saw some Jordan 5s. I saw some Salehi Bembury Crocs, 2 pairs. I saw a pair of Jordan 1 Low shattered backboards for like $40. They were not on sale yet. They were going to be up for sale on Saturday, and I went out of town, so I didn't get to pick those up, which was heartbreaking. But I did find one pair that I wanted to pick up because it was for the right price, and that was this pair of, I think it's the Venice Nike Dunk Lows. They're a women's pair in a size 10.5. They were $48, but they're in insane condition, and I can clean these up with some Rejuvenator real easy. Quick little update on a couple of things. These Venice Dunks were actually in Harrison Neville's YouTube video just a couple of days ago. Pretty funny. He just moved to Nashville, and he must have been there like a day before me, so I thought it was pretty interesting that he saw these as well, and I happened to pick them up. And the biggest update is that my girlfriend went into the Plato's Closet over the weekend, got there early, and picked these up and surprised me with them on Valentine's Day. Absolutely insane stuff. I mean, she deserves a medal for it. These are like a crazy pickup, and I didn't even pick them up. She did for me, and they were $45. That's gonna do it for this week. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.